Alright, we're ready to head on to the next step. And if you're a little confused up to this point, or you're having a tough time getting across in the middle pieces, just practice it until you get comfortable. You get to this point, mix it up, do it again, keep doing it until you're comfortable with it and you can get it done fast. And then once you're comfortable with it, you can move on to the next step, which is getting these middle pieces lined up so that the bottom two rows are solved. And it's a little bit harder to figure out, but it's not that bad, and you're going to realize that it's kind of the same move to deal with on both sides. I'm going to explain that in a second. Let's get more comfortable here. Alrighty. So the first thing you want to do is realize that this is our green, which used to be our top, is now forever our bottom piece. We're done with that. We don't have to worry about that piece anymore. We're working on the second row here. The first thing you want to do is realize that our top is blue, and obviously any piece in the middle that has a blue on it belongs up here and doesn't belong down there, so you're not looking for any piece. So the first thing you want to do is look for any piece, which is the middle pieces, that does not have a blue on it. And just keep in mind that the corners mean nothing to you. You worry about those later. So we see there's a blue here. Alright, there's a yellow and orange, which is great. We can work with that. Now there is a possibility that when you get to this point that you have all four edges up here with a blue piece, meaning you have all the pieces down here but they're in the wrong spot. So you need to either take them out by doing this same algorithm, or they're fine where they are. But in this case, we're going to work with this first piece, and we'll work with the other possibilities in a second. So looking at the front, we have orange and yellow. So what we're going to want to do is rotate the bottom two pieces until the orange middle piece lines up with the orange center piece. Okay, well, orange edge, orange center, yellow. Okay, so we know that this orange piece belongs either here or here, so our next step is, where does it belong? To the left or to the right? Well, white is to the right, yellow is to the left. So looking at it, we need to get this piece here. There's only two possibilities, here or there. In this case, it's left. So what you're going to want to just remember, and if we're going to move it here, it's going to be opposite. I'll go over that in a second. First thing you're going to want to do, if you need to move this to the left, is move this top to the right, which is up inverted. You're going to do left inverted. Then you want to do up left. And if you did that right, you should have this back in its right spot. The corner piece will line up and the two colors will be good to go. And then from there, as you can tell, I did up inverted, left inverted, and then up left. That's the first section. And it's basically one move, and then you're just doing the opposite, and that's how you get that. And so, but we're going to need to get this two pieces back down here, and the way by doing that is now you're doing up, which is the opposite way. And you're going to move the front clockwise, and you're going to do the opposite. You're going to move this up counterclockwise and this counterclockwise. Okay, and that moves both these pieces down and into the right spot. So obviously we have these two here, they're good to go, and all the thing we did is we moved this up, we paired it together, and we moved it back down. Okay, that's if it moves to the left, and we're going to get an example where it has to go the opposite way. So let's look at another non-blue piece, which right here we have another one, orange and white. Line it up. Okay, well in this case we still have to go left, so we'll go over it again so it makes sense. We're going to move, when it goes to the left, we move the top to the right, move this bottom piece up, which is left inverted, and then we're going to do the opposite. We're going to bring this back, and we're going to bring this back down. As you can tell, they're lined up. And then we're going to move this top the opposite way we just did, which is up. We're going to move the front clockwise. We're going to move this back, and then move the front counterclockwise, which is the opposite. And as you can tell, we now have these two pieces in the right spot. So let's go to the next piece, and hopefully we'll have the opposite, and we will have the opposite. So we're looking at the top again, and we're halfway there. We got a white and red, so we're going to move the bottom two until they line up. Okay, now we're looking at it, which way does it go, left or right? We did, the last two were to the left, and in this case we need to move this to the right. It's the only other possibility. Now remember, if you need to move a blue into that piece to get this piece out, you do it the same way. You just have to think that the pieces are going to swap out. So let's do it. It's basically the opposite of what we did for this side. If we're going to move it over here, so we're going to move this, since this is the right side and this needs to go to the right, we're going to move this to the left, which is up. Then we're going to do right, which is moving this up. Then we're going to do up inverted, right inverted. Bam. Same thing we just did, but now they're lined up on the other side. So when we started this off, we moved this over to the left, which is up rotation. The second part is up inverted, front inverted, okay, which is the opposite of what we did before. And then we're doing up, front. As you can tell, we have these in the right spot, and we're 3/4 of the way through. And like I said, if there's a piece here that, if you don't have any left, in this case we've been doing it periodically, so yeah, the pieces have come out that need to be removed. If they don't, then you just do that method, and you can obviously do the opposite. The move is over here, you can move that piece out. But in this case, everything is going pretty smoothly, and we're gonna go do this last piece, which is red and yellow. So we're gonna line up the red facing us with the red. It needs to go to the right side, which is the yellow. That's the top. And just like before, so we're gonna do up, right, up inverted, right inverted, then up inverted, front inverted, up, front. And if all goes well, you should have green all set, and the next row all the way across, everything should be lined up. The only thing that's left is this top here, and that is one of the last things that we're gonna figure out. So hopefully, if you made it to that point, you're doing good. The top is even more complicated than the rest of it, but as you can tell, once you do it a bunch of times, it starts to get easier, and you don't have to remember certain things. You just kind of know the movements. So practice that for a while, take a break, and if you're ready to tackle the top part, go to my next video.